everybody, it's Carolyn. How are you? I'm just rotating all of my screens around. So it is day 4 today of our Optimal Men's Health series. And so the first day, just as a quick recap, we discussed the idea of having your body as this temple, right? This place where all of your greatest gifts are housed and all of your amazing ideas are housed, right? Like, this is the place. And without a solid foundation, it's really, really hard to do our best work in the world and to be a part of our best relationships and so on and so forth. And on day 2, we talked more about the importance of exercise and how that really relates to how you feel on a physical level, but also on an emotional level, on a hormonal level, all of these things. And then yesterday we talked a lot about relationships and the importance of not isolating oneself, because isolation leads to all kinds of depressive habits and disease and all of these things. So basically, like, what I'm painting as a picture for you is more of a holistic lifestyle, right? And sometimes it's funny to use the word holistic because people get the wrong idea about what that means. But when I say it, what I'm really talking about is looking very clearly at all of the different areas of your life, looking at your whole self. Holistic. It's not a woo-woo word. So today, what's funny about today, I'll tell you something that's funny about today, is that as I was writing the notes for this and as I was going over the notes for today, I kind of caught myself sitting back and I was just like, wow, this day is like more for me than it is for anybody else. Because all of the things that I want to discuss today are things that are near and dear to my heart and my struggles personally. I actually had a friend just earlier today lend me a book by Dan Millman, and basically what the book is about is it's kind of numerology. You take your birthday, day, month, year, add all the numbers together, and then you get like the 2 numbers that you're left with and then the number. So I'm a 3-1 makes a 4, right? Anyhow, it makes sense in the book. And anyhow, the struggle with 4s is always for stability. The struggle with 4s is that we're this creative person with lots of energy who needs to express themselves, and we don't typically have a set plan. We start over a lot. And, looking at my own life, I can clearly say that this is me, that is my biggest thing, right? And whether it is in relationships or whether it is in the house that I'm in or the career or the whatever, like, I have always been very comfortable starting over. And so my intent for today, for this talk of today, was to really start to address the fact that we need to be mindful in our day-to-day world in order to be present, in order to make the best decisions that we can for ourselves and for others, for our families, in our businesses, and all of these things. And so one of the best modes of finding that presence, the mindfulness piece, is through the process of meditation. So a lot of people are like, I don't know what meditation is, but I don't think I can do it. I can't sit still that long. And I can only say that I can relate to this feeling. And so what I have come to understand is that meditation really doesn't mean anything but sitting still. And sitting still and observing what it is that we are thinking. Observing what it is that we are thinking, and then selecting or deselecting thoughts. Most of the time we worry and think about things that we have no control over. And this is a problem. Because when we are constantly worried about the future or reliving the past, both things that we can't do anything about, we are not being present in this moment. And so things like having a gratitude practice, journaling, meditating, all of these are really, really great ways to come back and be present and to actually cultivate more of what we want in our lives. So this I get, and the journaling practice I'm great with. And the other thing is getting that mindset piece in the right place. So getting back to health and fitness for a moment, when you tell yourself all the time that it's going to be really hard, it's going to be really hard to lose the weight, it's going to be really hard to make all that food, it's going to be really hard to fit in the exercise, then guess what? It's hard. What we tell ourselves in our minds is what really becomes our day-to-day reality. So we have to be so mindful of what is happening in our minds. That being said, there are a lot of people who live up here and can't access what's in here. And so what I want to encourage you today to do is to try sitting still for a little bit and feeling how you're feeling. Instead of thinking about how you're feeling, really sit still and try to figure out what you are feeling. Put a name on it. I'm tired. I'm sad. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm nervous. What is it? What are you feeling right now? Because knowing what you're feeling is the best way to track back to if you're having positive thoughts or not. Because everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with a concept, with a thought, and that turns into an emotion. It never works the other way. We don't have a feeling and then think about it. We always have a thought which turns into a feeling, which then turns into our actions. And so the practice of being mindful of how we are feeling is so crucial, because then we can track it back and say, well, what am I thinking about right now? Is it true? Is it positive? Can I do anything about it? And if not, you always have the opportunity to choose a different thought. So going back to the book, as a 4, I am oftentimes scattered. I am oftentimes really enthusiastic about something, and then I'm just done with it. This is a problem for me. Not everyone has this problem, but this is definitely one of my things, right? And so that's compounded by the fact that I'm a woman. And men and women think different ways. Like, we just simply process thoughts differently. And so as a man, you are thinking about 2 things when I'm talking. 1, what is the actual problem? And 2, how do you fix it? Because men, thank God, are single-focused problem solvers. Single-focused problem solvers. They have the ability to focus on one task and see it through. Women, on the other hand, we're listening to you, but we're also listening to the kids in the other room, the TV over here. We're making a grocery list in our mind. We're replaying something that happened earlier to us, and we're wondering about what we're going to wear tomorrow. So it's that kind of diffuse awareness that separates women and male thought patterning, right? So as a man, you have the ability to be a single-focused, task-driven person. So utilize that. That is a strength, right? So when you are goal-oriented, when you have a clear goal, and you are able to keep that goal in clear sight, right? Nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you from having a healthier lifestyle, losing the 20 pounds, competing in a triathlon, growing your business, meeting the woman of your dreams. None of those things are impossible. All it takes is for you to harness that energy of your mind, that single-focused, task-driven mind, and decide what it is that you want. For some of us, deciding what we want is hard because we want so many different things. And it seems to change so often, which is confusing. So the practice of becoming mindful starts with having a clear goal or a clear focus. And then every single day, keeping that goal, keeping that focus in plain sight. This is why people make vision boards as well. Like, that's a great way to be able to have a visual reminder of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Where are you going? And then being able to create a step-by-step plan and process to get there. As a 4, the planning and the process is rough. It's rough going for us because we want it right away. And things don't come right away. So it's just like training for an event, right? It's just like training for anything. And that I'm good at, right? Some of us are really, really good at saying, okay, I'm going to do this. I have a coach, I have a plan, and I'm just going to follow the plan. Day 1, day 2, day 3, this exercise, this run, this bike, this swim, whatever it is. When it comes to our personal lives or when it comes to other parts of our lives, sometimes it's not as easy, and sometimes that's where we need help. That's where we need coaching. And I mean, I'm raising my hand like the highest of anyone here, because that is absolutely where I fall down, like where I need the most help. And being able to admit that is sort of the first step. Like, you can't get help until you figure out what it is that you need help with. So whether it is figuring out a meal plan that works for you and just following the diet, eating the food, day after day after day, logging the food, even though it seems tedious, it's what works. If it's weight loss, if it's training for an event, if it is writing your novel, whatever it is, every single day you get to show up and make progress towards what it is that you want. So when you keep your goals in clear sight, when you can use your gift as a single focused tasked person, man, and when you can remain mindful enough in your day-to-day life to basically block out the thoughts and the worries that you don't have control over and bring back into immediate present focus those things that you do have control over. Your emotions you have control over because you have control over your thoughts. You have control over what you are saying to yourself. And so for heaven's sakes, make the words positive. And everything will turn out all right. Everything is figure outable. We can come up with a plan. But you have to understand what it is that you truly, truly desire in your heart. The mindfulness practice is also very helpful when it comes to accessing your intuition. And there again, like if you're a 9, say, referring back to the book again, if you are a 9, you are someone who has a really, really hard time getting out of your head. You're going to think things through. You're going to overanalyze it to death, right? Instead of following your gut instinct. Some people are really good at following their heart, their intuition, and they make choices clearly and concisely based on what they feel, because that is what you know. That is your truth. Other people get stuck up here. So we have to figure out who you are, right? And at the end of the day, what are your core values? Because your goals and the things that you are focused on have to line up with your core values. And what that stems from too is this idea of having archetypes, these archetypal patterns that you were born with. It's almost like your sacred contract, right? That's what Caroline Myss calls it, a sacred contract that you're born with. Everyone is different. We're all here as individuals, and we all have these same there's the same archetypal patterns, but how they manifest in each one of us is different. So knowing very, very clearly what it is that you stand for is going to also help you make the decisions about what to focus on. Because if you're out of alignment, right, if you know that you're here to make a difference in the world as an advocate or as an artist or as a spiritual leader or as an investigator. You know what I mean? Like there's all of these different types of things that people are driven to do and be. If your actions are out of alignment with your core values, then you're always left kind of feeling a little bit adrift, a little bit uncertain, like a little bit uncomfortable, because things aren't matching up in your heart with your soul, with your sacred contract, and what you're doing every single day, the words that you're saying. So this is exactly what we dive into in my Create Your Future Self program. I just get so excited when I teach this to people, because it makes a huge difference and it sheds this beautiful bright light on everything that you're doing, insofar as figuring out why it's even important in the first place. Why is it important that you keep yourself healthy, that you maintain optimal health? It's because you stand for these core values. There are these things that you're meant to do in the world, and when you know what they are and can maintain that focus, nothing can stop you, and you will be so happy and feeling so fulfilled. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So that is my message for you today. There are a bunch of apps on your phone that help with starting a meditation practice. Things like Headspace, that's a good one. But if you just go into the App Store and look around for apps that are like, you know, meditation or whatever, you'll find some that are guided meditation with people talking, or just calming music, or whatever it is. You can start with 5 minutes of just sitting still and breathing, because that's really all meditating is. It is sitting still and being conscious of your breath. So starting there, figuring out how it is that you're feeling in any moment, naming that feeling, deciding if you're happy feeling that way, and if you're not, deciding to choose a different thought, because that is what will change how you feel. Our words become our emotions, become our actions, become our lives. This is true. So putting all of the pieces together, I'm going to come on tomorrow, Friday, for the last time. If you guys have any questions, please, please, please write them in the comments, tag me, we'll have a little conversation about it. If any of this is striking a chord, I really, really hope that you follow your intuition, right? Follow your gut instinct and act on it. And just right now, as soon as we're done here, because we're done here for today, turn off your computer, shut your computer, turn off your phone, put it away, and then just sit still for 5 minutes. Think about, how do I feel right now? Do I like how I'm feeling? What am I thinking? Do I need to change my thoughts in order to change my life? It's so cool. You are so powerful. So that is all for today, my friends. I've kept it to the 20 minutes, yay. And I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. And until then, I'm going to go teach a yoga class, because that is actually very calming for me and grounding for me. And so until next time, I will tell you namaste and see you tomorrow.